Alright, what is this? FaZe Banks built and destroyed his career on dirty money. Wow, what a surprise. The guy that came from... Yeah, didn't FaZe come from Counter-Strike? Yeah, wow, really? Think so?
Many are now referring to as a crypto scammer just got exposed for exploiting his friendship with one of the biggest streamers in the world, then throwing him under the bus. The only issue is there's been a history of him building a career off of dirty money, and this exact practice is what ended with him stepping down as CEO from FaZe. So this is Banks, the CEO, or well now, ex-CEO of a massive gaming organization by the name of FaZe Clan. And as of the other day, messages were leaked that show that he actively took part in what many people are calling a huge crypto scam, and he exploited his friend Aiden Ross in the process. He also announced that he would be stepping back from FaZe Clan entirely. And honestly, I'm kind of surprised that he didn't realize this was coming with the way he's been moving over the span of his career, because obviously there is a lot to unpack here, so let's start with the basic backstory. So as previously stated, Ricky or Banks was the CEO and co-founder of the gaming organization by the name of FaZe Clan. I'm sure a lot of you guys watching this video grew up watching these.
You literally couldn't play COD or any other shooter game without someone bringing up FaZe. It was insane. They had such a cultural impact on the gaming community, at least for the shooter one.
Guys, so I don't really think I have to go too much into detail here. But long story short, FaZe Clan started as a Call of Duty trickshotting team that spiraled into a massive worldwide brand that has worked and helped grow some of the largest social media personalities in the world. However, FaZe and FaZe Banks have had quite a few controversies since the beginning. Allegedly, back in 2015, FaZe Banks and a handful of others co-owned a Counter-Strike gambling site called CSGO Wild. From reports, this site earned up to $200,000 a day. And you're probably...
A day? A day? Let's say it's even half of that. 100 grand a day. 2015 money too. Oh yeah, that would be way more now. That's even more crazy.
Probably thinking, well, that seems fine, but he never declared that he was owner until 2020. So essentially he spent...
Oh, so he lied. Oh, wait. Is this the drama where if people found out that he owns it and then he promoted himself and said, guys, this is how you win on a Counter-Strike gamble. Yeah, for sure, yeah.
4 years denying that he was a part of it. And this likely had a lot to do with the backlash that T. Martin and Syndicate got from being a part of making a similar Counter-Strike gambling site called CSGO. Obviously, this turned into a massive legal and PR nightmare for them, but they ended up settling and essentially getting away with a slap on the wrist in the eyes of the law. But in the online communities, it's safe to say they took a pretty big hit to their careers for a while at least. Even though, at least back in that day, CSGO and CSGO gambling was extremely normalized within the gaming communities. But Banks finally admitted that he was an owner in 2020 of CSGO Wild. He explained that his motivation behind CSGO Wild was making enough money to purchase the CSGO team. So alongside with other FaZe members, they promoted the site with clear knowledge that Banks owned it. But then to somehow make things worse, the site failed to use a provable fair system. And that they were actually publicly outed for by various sources for manipulating the outcomes of the bets. Then on top of that, they allegedly didn't pay the site designer. So not only did they promote gambling to kids.
What did he say? Might be a bad time to bring this up, but you commissioned me to design the CSGO Wild for website 3K, and you scammed me after I sent the files. Bruh, I was 17. Aw, they used some kid, man. They couldn't even hire someone proper.
So not only did they promote gambling to kids, but they also allegedly scammed a kid in the process. So clearly, this is not a good look. The CSGO Wild TLDR is allegedly a lot of FaZe members, including Banks, who allegedly owned the site, promoted an illegal gambling website to their child audience. They got them to spend their money, and then they also allegedly rigged the odds in their favor. TDM Hazes actually made a great video covering this topic.
I'm trying to suck on those piggies. Can you be normal for 5 freaking minutes, Malachi? Come on. We're talking about something serious. We're talking about gamba.
And I'll be linking that video in the description down below. But moving on after that, this started a whole new era of FaZe. Banks had a pretty viral crash out on Snapchat of him in Europe. Many claimed this was due to substance abuse problems after falling into unimaginable amounts of money from CSGO Wild. But he ended up very publicly leaving FaZe here.
I'm not joking on Twitter.
Dude, he looks so...
I'm being honest.
He looks so cooked.
% serious. And I'm happy with my decision. If you want to delete me on Snapchat, if you want to follow me on Twitter, if you want to hate me, do it all, man. Just keep that negative away. That's it. Goodbye. I'm getting so many tweets about the tattoo. The tattoo is on my body forever. I'm glad it's on my body forever. FaZe was the coolest time of my life. FaZe up.
And here's the more formal tweet that he posted about this move back in
You can get lasered off. I mean, he's got the money.
2016. But most of the FaZe guys, they ended up moving out to LA. And Banks also ended up moving to LA a little bit later, starting the Clout House with Rice Gum and Alyssa Violet. Meanwhile,
big red flag, being involved with Rice Gum. Yeah, everybody knows.
At this time, FaZe got connected with a shady, at best, Norwegian entrepreneur. And this guy is known for lying a lot, to put it lightly, within the Norwegian esports scene. But clearly, he's a smooth talker, and after meeting one of the founding members on FaZe on a plane and lying to him about who he knew, FaZe decided to move forward and bring him into the company. This guy was an absolute nightmare for FaZe. He allegedly ended up scamming the FaZe guys in multiple ways. First, from what I've heard, he ended up pitching them the startup of his. He ended up raising a bunch of money from the internal FaZe group.
You think you wouldn't get fleeced after hiring a scumbag like that? I don't know. Sometimes it's like, you know, you get what you freaking deserve. You surround yourself with scumbags, you're gonna get fleeced.
Then nothing came from that startup. Some of the members even threw him hundreds of thousands of dollars towards the startup. And then you have the second thing, which many can refer to as a scam, is by the way he influenced FaZe, which eventually turned the company into a pump and dump for private equity that got their big cash out after FaZe Clan was SPAC'd out onto the stock market. And I'm not sure if he was actually still involved or had shares when they finally SPAC'd and went onto the public market. But I do know he asked a FaZe member, while that FaZe member was in the hospital, if his wife could borrow his car.
Oh my god, who does that while they're in the hospital? I need your credit card too, bro. I need your social security. What's the 3 digits at the back?
But fun fact though, from what I know, none of the original FaZe Clan members made money from FaZe going live on the stock market, as they couldn't sell because their shares were locked up. But after the stock market hit, that was kind of towards the end of big FaZe, at least, because it all came down collapsing after that, because the company was burning way more money than they could ever earn. And the stock essentially dropped 99%. And big FaZe Clan doesn't exist, by the way. It's just what I'm calling the bloated private equity version of FaZe that basically everyone within the community was not a fan of. Now, you still have a private equity version of FaZe, but this one is very different from what was running it in 2019, 2020, 2021, and so on. But obviously, other things happened during that time that hurt the reputation of both FaZe Clan and Banks, like the Tfue contract, where FaZe Clan drafted a very unfair, exploitative contract that they could take up to 80% of the revenue from his brand.
Dude, that's worse than Machinima, man. I'm pretty sure Machinima was like 70 or 60%. Oh my god, 80%!
Deals. And that became public after Tfue sued FaZe Clan in 2019. And what's so interesting about this is like the 80-20 split between creators and talent agencies, that's very normal. Except it's 80% to the creator, 20% to the agency. This is opposite. This was 20% to Tfue, 80% to FaZe Clan. Now, from everyone I've talked to, FaZe never like executed on that contract. They never actually held that contract to the state, aka they never took the 80% cut from his deals. But obviously the elephant in the room here is they could if they wanted to. Why would you
ever sign that? I just feel like even if I didn't have a lawyer, I'd be like, hell no, 80%.
Massive problem. And many people blame Banks here for this, but I don't think he had anything to do with it at all. I would be looking at Seabass way before I would be looking at Banks when it comes to this stuff. Even though that Seabass would just be a cog in the massive machine that was the bloated private equity version of FaZe back then. But what I will say is Banks was definitely at fault with his involvement with Banks Social, because in May of 2021, Banks tweeted in support of this project called Banks Social, calling it, in quote, a project I F with heavily.
I see a B Social with a rocket. That, stinky. That to me is such a red flag. Instantly, my eyes glaze over. I'm like, to the moon, of course, of course.
And truly believe this is the next one to pop. He then ran a $10,000 giveaway with that project, which obviously caused the token to pump, then immediately dump right after. Banks then deleted the tweets, got called out for it, then claimed that he never sold any of his B social tokens and that he didn't participate in any pump and dump. And I mean, that's cool and all, but he should have also understood how irresponsible that was to begin with. Then you also had the whole save the kid situation, because in June of 2021, multiple FaZe members promoted a crypto coin that was promoted as a charity. However, immediately after launching the coin, it crashed by over 90%. People...
I mean, someone was saying, like, V-Shoujo version, but I don't know, man, that's pretty bad too, no? Scamming people out of a charity and pumping and dumping that shit.
People immediately started looking at the transactions on the blockchain and very soon after realized that the members...
I feel like it's a bit of a scale issue if you're using, like, a crypto coin to donate to charity. Just donate directly. What's the point?
...were directly involved. FaZe and Banks were quickly to distance themselves from this whole scandal and claim they had zero involvement or knowledge of the scam. And from what I can tell, this is still true. These members who did this were fired and kicked immediately. But another thing I wanted to quickly add, as I mentioned earlier, revolving FaZe Clan and Big FaZe, because in 2022, FaZe became a public traded company, essentially meaning that the company's ownership could be distributed with the general public. If you ask anyone about FaZe around this time, they would say something around the lines of FaZe became corporate. This is in reference to the bloated private equity version of FaZe I've been talking about. But obviously the massive problem with that was the same uniqueness that made FaZe what it is essentially gone. And only a year later, the stock had completely collapsed, causing the former CEO to get terminated. FaZe was then acquired by GameSquare Holding, which ended up later on appointing Banks as FaZe's new CEO. And this was after Banks bought a 25% ownership into FaZe Media for $9.5 million. And what's important here is he bought into FaZe Media, not their esports side of the business. So why is this relevant? Well, Banks rebranded FaZe, brought on a new generation of FaZe talent, moved them into a stream house, and tried to make this like new age version of the old FaZe house. And I would say all around, that was a massive success for FaZe. But unfortunately, that was only one of 2 streamer houses that he started. He also had this other group called Probably Nothing. And here you have a handful of other members. Frank DGods, Thread Guy, OG Shoots, Rasmer. I think that was everyone. I could be missing some. But some of them are relevant because of what happens later on in this video. And overall, Probably Nothing, I think, turned into being way more of a headache than what it was worth it for Banks, because you constantly had moments like this on various live streams.
Today, and Banks is always early. Wow. Think about that's the symbol of science. Wow. Right? Banks bought Goat and Zero Bro today. Banks is always early. Boys,
and they're just promoting their crypto coins to these people that are watching them. What happened, man? It was just Call of Duty and shoot people and shooting them in the head with trick shots, and now we're selling crypto coins? Man, this shit sucks.
Zero Bros and
Banks is always early.
Banks
is always early, bro. No way.
Because if anything, a lot of their live streams just made them come across as very shady, to put it lightly. And it also really did not help that a lot of the stuff they were buying and hyping up on their live streams kind of turned into what their name was, worth probably nothing. But you may have seen these people in the stream with Aiden Ross while he bought the meme coin MLG. And I guess you would also see them in that.
Look, Eth has performed worse in the last 12 months. This is all they talk about. It's a front. They look like they're a bunch of party bros or like gamers. I wouldn't even say gamers, honestly. Like, where's the gameplay? They're just sitting in front of a computer, man. Look, Eth, Soul, Eth, other, hype, hashtag, no, Trump coin, MLG coin, hype coin, Ethereum, 30 million into 70% BTC.
At a leaked Haktua episode where they were trying to like do
wait, that was him?
Damage control for a Haktua girl. But the latter is kind of irrelevant. It's the stream with Aiden and these Probably Nothing guys that got us here in the situation today. Because what a lot of people may be asking is, WTF is MLG coin? Well, MLG stands for Major League Gaming, which originally started with hosting Halo and Smash Bros. Tournaments.
Gotta know the Dorito edits and the freaking horns.
Actually became the first televised esports league in 2006. And eventually they added Call of Duty, StarCraft, and League of Legends to its programming before it was finally acquired by Activision Blizzard. And like...
Wait, I had no idea. What? They bought him?
Damn, many things that touched that company, it was all downhill from there. At least for the company. Online culture, they had other plans. They took its branding and merged it with satirical gaming culture, and then you had people like Snipers, Pyrocynical, and Roman, and many others that repopularized the MLG name alongside of Mountain Dew, Doritos, Hitmarkers, Joints, and Snoop Dogg. And it's safe to say that that ran its course until the cow was completely milk dry by late 2016, early 2017, and that's at a stretch.
Yeah.
So fast forward like what, 7 or 8 years until crypto hell. A website called Pump Fund launched, where any moron could launch their own crypto token with just a few clicks. And someone launched a coin called MLG. And this is clearly not associated to Major League Gaming, Activision Blizzard, or any...
I'm sure there's a freaking coin for everything. I bet you there's a HoloLive coin or a Gargoyle coin at this point.
...of the original MLG montage YouTubers.
It's so unregulated.
Banks, for some reason, I guess, saw this bundled coin and decided that he was going to make this his identity and shill it pretty aggressively. And this is even though it was extremely bundled. According to Bubble Maps here,
buy a bundled token, promote it, watch it collapse to zero, sell and post about mental health. What's a bubbled coin? Does that mean it's associated with a bunch of other coins and it's not actually worth the value that it is? I don't know. I'm not that smart. This is way above my anime pay grade.
More than 25% of the supply was in control by a handful of people by the time banks started buying into it. So here's a screenshot of the wallets in control of MLG coin the days he was buying it to begin with. And obviously, I know for any normal person looking at this, you're probably like, what? So,
yeah, explain
TLDR,
it to me.
this is a normal wallet. TLDR, this is a normal wallet. And this is someone or a group of people who has spread out their tokens between a whole bunch of wallets, trying to make it look like they don't own as much of the token as they really do. That right there is called a bundle or a cluster, which will become important later on in this video. And fast forward a few months,
makes sense.
Aiden, obviously still upset about this situation.
So it doesn't look like they have the majority share in a thing if they spread it out amongst a bunch of different people. That makes sense.
Had a rant about it on stream, but he didn't
learning.
mention banks directly.
MLG is up, you're good. Ban him out of my chat. Aladar, you're a sucking beast, bro. All those
What the fuck?
crypto kids, they're nowhere to be found, bro. They stole millions of dollars from innocent people, bro. We don't see about them anymore, hang around them anymore. They're nowhere to be found, bro.
Weird? It's weird to me that people that are like millionaires and whatever, and they put on this like hard appearance, but their place looks like trash. I never got that.
What the f have they been on, bro? They're like hiding away somewhere underground. It's fucking insane, bro. They bought like bunkers and shit.
So obviously, Banks was called a scammer by a bunch of
Like I
people
had $1
because he
million,
stupidly made a coin his identity and kept promoting it to his followers. He was also the one who brought this coin to both Aiden Ross and his fans. And one day, I guess he just broke and sent this really weird message to the MLG chat blaming Aiden Ross for the reason it collapsed. Aiden Ross effed this up. This community dumped on him buying, used him as exit liquidity. His ego got hurt, blamed Frank. Him and Frank got into it privately. Aiden despises Frank and spins and drives a narrative about Frank selling. Somehow this falls on me and the threads to farm. The whole situation spins into me selling and dumping coins. When I ran this thing up from $3 million to $200 million, organically, top blasted multiple times, invested a F ton of money, and never ever sold. The only bad actor in this entire thing is Aiden. Point blank, period.
So he's backstabbing him. Grrr.
Hold up, what?
Girly
Why would you ever say this about your friend that you convinced to buy? The only reason Aiden was in this project is because you flew out to Florida and had him buy it on stream. What is going on here? So obviously, Banks got a lot of backlash for that, so he responds with, "I've never scammed anyone a day in my life."
If you say you've never done it in a day of your life, you have 100% done it. I bet you $100.
The entire narrative is unfair, and a part of the reason it exists is because my FaZe name is so easily farmed and manipulated. The fact this is affecting the guys at all is whack, so for the time being, I'm going to be stepping away from not only FaZe, but all of this internet. It's destroying my life inside and out. Sucks my entire life gets ruined over something I didn't even do. The real ones...
That's awfully convenient. Again, it's so hard to trace this shit, so it's really easy to defend yourself online like this.
No, I wish I could say I'll be...
The government needs to audit them.
...back, but I really don't know if I will.
I think they should.
So that tweet has since been deleted. But an old roommate and...
I've never scammed anyone a day in my life. Deletes. Yeah, you don't have proof I said that. What?
So that tweet has since been deleted. But an old roommate and teammate of his, FaZe Rain, chimed in with this.
I mean, I saw a lot what Banks said. I saw the way he's going about defending himself, but one thing I haven't seen him say is if those DMs are real or not, what he said in the chat. It seems like he's kind of dancing around that topic. Like we all make mistakes, but it's all about taking accountability for a lot of stuff, right? It's like, hey bro, like I said that, my fault, I was wrong. I threw you under the bus when, you know, I should take blame for that. I made that stream happen. Like, bro, I genuinely couldn't believe it when I saw that message, especially like the way it was worded. When I read that shit at the end saying there's only one bad actor in this and it's Aiden, I was like, what the like, that was a crazy thing to read, right?
And then to make things even worse, the guys behind the MLG coin claims Banks tried to cut them out several times and take control of the project. So that shows that he had a lot more, or tried to have a lot more, to do with the project than what he was leading on to. And then some loose allegations towards Aiden Ross's manager started to come out, claiming that Aiden Ross's manager used to work with FaZe for many years. And then they provided some out.
Yeah, obviously, you'd keep around someone that basically scammed a bunch of people out of money. FaZe has a history. It's just pattern recognition. The fact that they've rebranded so many times is the only reason people haven't caught on, honestly.
A context clip of Aiden saying that the manager owed Aiden money for all this Banks stuff.
Bob, you owe me money for the crypto with Banks, where someone tried to.
Is that an Iron Man Mickey Mouse?
So how out of context that is, I'm not sure, but it does become relevant later on in this video. But Aiden then responded to this whole situation by saying the Banks screenshot is real. It's sad. If you guys think that MLG being rugged was me, I'm sorry to tell you it wasn't. There's a reason that entire house is silent. Truth will come out eventually. I'm just more hurt on the fact someone I call my brother is behind my back. So obviously, Banks then got
People always say that girls are catty and dramatic, and there's a lot of drama with girls, but you have not met crypto bros.
Even more backlash. So then he went back to Twitter and he said, for the time being, I'm going to be stepping away from not only FaZe, but all the internet.
Buddy, we're watching crypto bros going nuts over and fighting and backstabbing each other. This is very much like crazy behavior. Giga drama queens.
It's destroying my life inside and out. FaZe Rug ironically had absolutely nothing to do with that, though. That's just a very unfortunate name in today's crypto age. Banks did go on to Aiden Ross's stream where he had plenty of things to say. And watching this stream is honestly kind of crazy because I'm shocked at how easy it was for Banks to just direct this conversation with Aiden. Like, there was zero pushback from Aiden here at all. Because I'm pretty sure the whole thing was supposed to be Aiden confronting Banks about what happened, but instead, Banks just kind of sweet talks and gaslights him for an hour, and it's almost like Aiden just kind of bought it, or at least he did so while on call.
Yeah.
How did we get in this mess, man?
You got everyone in this mess. What are you talking about, dude?
What if this is just orchestrated to farm content and to keep people engaged? They're not actually that mad at each other, and then they pay each other out. That's what I'm thinking, honestly.
Started from you speaking,
drama to farm.
Behind my back.
I know. We'll get to the text. Obviously, I'm just saying. Me and you have known each other for how long?
Years. We have a lot of history together.
Years and years and years. We live together. We could talk to each other about anything. Me and you have had one issue between each other our entire lives, the entire time knowing you. What is it?
What? I don't know.
MLG.
Oh.
This whole MLG thing. The only time me and you have had any weird energy, all this weird back and forth, the miscommunications, the talking between Tav, has been over the stream that we did 6 months ago. And this whole narrative around Frank and everybody in that room scamming people. And for the last 6 months, Frank's been getting farmed to be some kind of scammer. This MLG thing goes to zero. It looks horrible on everybody involved. I am the only person with any sort of namesake. Me and you have a real relationship. So now
it's real.
Where it's like I'm scamming. It makes it look weird between me and you. Me and you get on the phone. You tell me, I know you're not scamming. I know you're not scamming. But then these pages are posting, Banks is scamming, Banks is scamming. Bro, this thing spirals to the point where I fall for bait. I post in this chat. You read it. It was a whack message. I should have just called you again. But I just feel like the story and all the details of it haven't been properly represented. And everybody involved feels that way.
Okay, so I'm kind of confused in why he didn't immediately apologize for bringing both Aiden and his community into this awful investment, then somehow blame Aiden for everything. Either Banks is a moron for doing this,
or this is why I think it's fake. I feel like if I was in Aiden's position, I'd be just fucking pissed. I wouldn't talk to him, man.
Or he's pretending to be a moron. Like, he flew out to Florida, with a bunch of crypto bros to convince one of the largest streamers in the world, who has an extremely active and pretty young audience, to buy a low-cap meme coin. How did he ever think this was going to go over well? Banks is essentially the wolf in sheep's clothing, bringing all the sheep to the other wolves here, because this would be a disaster no matter what. We've already established with bubble maps, the coin was heavily bundled when Banks got into it, so it's not like it would be too different from when he got Aiden into it. So either way, the supply was in control by very few people. What I do want to say though is, I have not been able to find any wallets tied to Banks that have taken profits or sold off any of this MLG coin.
Well, yeah, obviously, because he's probably doing it through other people. That's how it works. That's how they get away with this shit, and it's so annoying to regulate this kind of thing. Like, I don't like the government regulating everything, but at a certain point, this is getting ridiculous. People are making millions of dollars off of people like this.
I also contacted Bubble Maps about this, and they have not been able to verify anything either as of recording this video. So, at least for now, it doesn't look like Banks used MLG coin to make money. If anything, it seems like he lost not only money on it, but also a lot of career reputation here. So I'm leaning to the side that Banks was just being a moron here, and they really thought this coin was going to go into the multiple billions of dollars, and that they would all make money somehow.
Listen, let me put it into context for everybody, and this is all facts. Aiden, fact check me or not, call me out, whatever. I mean, after the last 48 hours, what we've gone through together, we all know where we're at, and we all know what facts are facts. Facts?
What does that even mean, dude?
We fly to Florida to do a crypto stream. All of us, right? You expressed interest in buying MLG. Do you remember what I said on that? The VOD should still exist. Do you remember what I said when people started talking about buying it on stream? Do you remember what I said?
I don't. I didn't watch the stream. I haven't watched the stream back.
Somebody go find the VOD and clip it if you want.
Clip it
to buy it
right
on stream.
now.
You remember that?
Yeah, I watched that entire stream and I did not hear him say that.
The moment you bought it on stream, the community dumped the coin. It doesn't even logically make sense that anyone in that room dumped the coin. It doesn't make sense.
This is either really good acting or it's gaslighting to like psychopathic extremes. I've met women like this before where they just rattle off so much they confuse you, and then because you're overwhelmed with so much information, it's very easy for them to gaslight you. I don't know, hard to say. I'm not about to be here like psychoanalyzing and shit.
Wallets trading it are public with millions of dollars in it. Why would we give that up? Why would we start dumping it live on stream to lose millions of dollars? It doesn't even logically make sense, first of all.
Okay, he put himself in this really bad situation because obviously we can see he didn't sell until the other day. But also, sadly, it's almost impossible for us to verify if he had any other alt wallets, if he had decent wallet hygiene. So either way, this should be the biggest wake-up call for all influencers to never endorse or market any microcap. They are microcap, honestly. Any microcap projects, especially if the only use case of the project is number of investment go up. That's a Ponzi, and it's 100% a certifiable way to destroy your reputation.
You never thought I scammed you anyways, period. It was always between the other guys. That's what you always said.
I will say this, yes. I thought I was under the impression because people were telling me that I got scammed by the other people in the room. Yes, that's what I...
And by the way, that's completely and entirely fair.
Dude.
And then I'm stuck in a spot where...
I'm just astounded that there's people that care enough about this shit. These people are so much richer than all the viewers combined. And like, oh my god,
nobody gives a to farm these kids' names. So it's FaZe Banks and his crypto friends are scamming Aiden Ross. You understand what my position in it? Obviously, like where I'm at there.
It's because you're affiliated, and I understand.
Yes. Okay, so I get looped in this, and then we get into this loop, and it obviously puts weird energy between us.
No, I know. I agree.
Energy,
it's definitely weird between us.
And honestly, it's not any more spicy than that. Nobody ran away with millions of dollars. Aiden lost 50 racks even. I lost 100K. Frank lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. People made millions of dollars off this coin, by the way. I bought this at $3 million, fully endorsed it, fully backed it, ran with this narrative that it's the gamer coin. It was a legitimate community with an amazing narrative during a good time in crypto. And unironically, you marked the top.
Yeah, so here he just kind of admitted that he brought the sheep into their final destination with that stream.
You and I have had a weird relationship for the past 6 months, to be honest.
Facts. We've been talking through top. We've been not talking as much. It's been weird. It's all based around this thing, and real emotions are involved. You guys got to keep in mind, the people watching the stream, this isn't some like PR scripted thing. Me and Aiden really have real history. I met this kid before he had 10 viewers. We were taking pictures at bars. He's asking me for pictures. And then he came and lived with me and Rice. And we like really came up together on some and like that's real. Never had an issue. Aiden, me and you have never had a singular problem since before this.
Dude, it's just been, like I said, like I obviously, like I've always looked up to you as like my older brother. Like, you know that. But
yeah, now your older brother scammed you. Fuck, dude. No, I don't know. Maybe it's not like fake. Like, you just actually bummed out. I totally get it, but damn, this is some cringe.
Always loved you. I've slid for you. I've been there for you too.
But literally 2 days ago, he completely throws his so-called day one friend that he came up together with under the bus, even though it was him that got his friend into this whole MLG thing in the first place. This whole conversation just seems so manipulative.
And Aiden, to both of our credit, how many times did you say, yo, this guy said it's a good idea if I drop a coin? And what did I say to you every time?
Yeah, that's true. You said no.
Said, no, Aiden, we can't do that. If anybody was in a scam mindset, by the way, that's the scam. For the people who don't want to understand the nuances of crypto, it doesn't logically make sense.
There's no nuance to crypto, man. Oh my god. Holy, he's one of those people.
Live sitting there, we're dumping a coin live, physically behind your back, and just losing millions of dollars on in other wallets. We have these secret side wallets.
The conclusion I'm having with this is they were both acting like morons here and not scamming. Although the bar is set very low.
Allegedly.
When we're like, well, at least we didn't launch our own crypto token.
I came out the cut to help bring the face back. I think we did that. I'm good. These boys got it from here. I'm 33 years old. I don't have a kid. I'm a bum by everybody else's standards, so I'm gonna just focus on that.
But I think dwelling on that, you know, I don't know.
It's not even a dwelling thing. Genuinely, brother, I'm happy. Again, all I care about is my real relationships.
Okay, so he was publicly
real relationships with his friend that he fucked over so hard, man.
outed for throwing his friend under the bus, and then I guess now he's retiring, which is why I'm referring to both the gambling money and the meme coin money, which is also pretty much gambling money as well, dirty money. Because this led a dude who's in the top 0.1% of...
Again, he's not a saint. Aiden Ross has done fucked up shit too, but this is just funny to me. I genuinely think they both just kind of bit off more than they can chew, and the other guy threw him under the bus.
Net worth in the world to throw a friend that he calls a day one friend and family under the bus. That's dirty no matter what you call it, because this is why I'm saying he built and destroyed his career off of dirty money.
How we fell in this in the first place is I fell for bait. I read into a tweet, you scammed your friend Aiden Ross, you piece of shit. This kid had MLG in his name. So I went into the MLG chat. I said, yo, I'm just going to let you guys all know. I'm about to sell this whole fucking thing. I've held this thing to zero. And I got people in this community saying like this and just went off, threw you under the bus. Honestly, dude, say whatever you want. If they want you to rip me apart and you're going to rip me apart for the sake of a community wanting you to rip me apart.
They want me to go deep on you, bro. They want me to go deep on you how I do with like the Dochis and like all these other people on the internet. But it's like I have a real history.
But that's not reality.
I have a real history with you. That's why I'm like I'm just hurt.
I mean, honestly, there's nothing Banks said here.
Chad, I'm gonna be real. I don't think he's hurt emotionally. I think he's hurt that he lost $100,000.
That made sense to why he would throw Aiden under the bus here. But
I feel like if you're emotionally hurt, you'd be way more angry and just lashing out. He's just kind of like, fuck, I lost like $100,000 out of my like $50 million out of my pocket. Fuck.
he does go on to kind of take some accountability.
I don't blame you whatsoever. Like you tried your best. Nobody's blaming anybody, bro. I'm not saying it's your fault. To be honest with you, it's 100% my fault.
You know me, but
let me get this off real quick. I should never ever have talked about any coin or any asset as like unreliable or whatever. Like I don't even know what the word is for this, but there's a reason why since this has happened, I'm on some buy Bitcoin, crypto punks. I'm not talking about anything else.
Volatile and low market cap might be the words he was looking for, but either way, at the end of the day, both of these guys are at fault here for doing a stream like this, endorsing a low market cap crypto coin in front of so many people. And it seems like they realize this now.
Basically, if I did this to you guys, I don't think I'd ever hear the end of it, but these guys get away with it because their entire audience is used to like this drama on Kick where they like scam cryptos and fuck each other over, and there's constant drama. Like I feel like the the community's so desensitized. If I tried to pull that shit and be like, guys, there's a Smug coin on whatever that website's called where you can make us a coin for whatever you want, and I started promoting it, and then I ended up bagging everything and running away with that bag, I would get chased to hell and back, dude.
Now, but a clip
Don't they also have a young audience? I don't think so, because the audience also buys into the coin thing. I genuinely don't believe the argument is, oh, well, he has a really young audience. It's like, yeah, they're using the audience to buy stuff. Like, kids don't really have money. I would say it's probably like 25-plus-year-olds.
The interview that really gave me whiplash was this.
The majority of my day yesterday on the phone with everybody from family to FaZe members to employees to my friends and everybody across the board that I care about, that I work with, that I have any meaningful relationship with, loves me, knows who I am, and this hasn't changed anything. As long as there's only one person that I have weird energy in the air with, and it's you.
Energy.
Dude,
Energy.
you didn't throw any of them under the bus. What are you talking about? Of course they don't feel like that to you. You didn't throw them under the bus. No one, Aiden has all the rights in the world to feel like that to you. That doesn't make sense. Also, I kind of got suspicious about this clip.
Can I ask you a question?
Anything, brother. Anything.
What does bundled mean? What does that mean in crypto? I don't know what that means.
Ooh.
Like a bundle?
I'm not too sure.
Why is that stupid? What?
Familiar either. I think it's when a bunch of wallets adjacent and close to each other and have traded back and forth between each other own, like, to be honest, I can't speak to it. That would be a question that I would ask. Like,
I don't know. I'm not sure, but like it's the. I mean, I don't know. I need to get a lawyer to talk to you about that.
I don't know anything about these terms either. That's why I'm asking you.
True.
Okay, so he was in the ballpark there, but what's odd about this is he referred to bundles 24 hours later. So I guess enough of that. Remember the allegations about Aiden Ross's manager, Tov? Well, Aiden just announced that he fired that manager.
Guys, as you guys have been sticking around me for a very long time, you know I've been dealing with a lot of bullshit behind the scenes. So I'm just gonna let you guys know that Tov and I are 100% split ways. I'm not messing with Tov anymore. He's not messing with me. And I wish you nothing but the best luck and stuff like that. But Aiden and Tov is not a thing. I don't have a manager. I don't have an active manager. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, bro. I got this. We got this. By the way, it's all love to Tov. I don't want people. I saw what was going on in the community. I don't want the family y'all were leaving on him and stuff like that. Don't go after people's families.
Yeah, that's
It's nothing to
cringe.
do with
He's
him,
right.
bro. Honestly, and I don't gotta tell y'all the details about what happened.
don't be
It's
weird.
really nobody's business. I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Then his stream chat wouldn't move on, so he got frustrated.
Hey, guys, with all due respect, please ban Tov's name from my chat and please take out the emote, please. I'm not joking, bro. Let that move on. Let's get past it. No reason for me to bring that back up. Let's just get over it. All right?
Now, obviously,
I mean, let's just assume they're not. Like, don't go attacking people's families. Yeah.
we can speculate what happened as
can
it's
assume
perfectly
they
timed
weren't.
up with the
Let's
recent
just assume they
allegations,
weren't.
but at the end of the day, who knows? Well, the timing's interesting. But Aiden did have some
ban him.
final words
Kiss
for
his balls.
Banks.
It's not about being spineless. It's just about what's the truth and what's not the truth. Cut him off then. It's not your business whether I cut him off or don't cut him off. I don't speak to Banks all the time. We speak here and there, but I
He's
consider
getting
that
mad, I
somebody
can
that
tell.
changed my life in many
He's actually getting, like, mad. I think this is when he actually cracked. Damn.
ways. Family to me, bro. Let's not act like he didn't move me in a crib, never charged me for rent, said don't join FaZe Clan because it's ran by a bunch of CEOs and weird people. I have history with him. So sorry I'm not going on stream saying FaZe Bank, let's FaZe
Yeah,
Bank.
he's
Sorry I'm not
rage
doing that.
baited.
Instead, I'm just going to say I'm hurt. And it was up what he did.
And I guess that's all we have for now. So Banks is no longer the CEO of FaZe. I don't know how long that'll last though, but it looks like his career was both built and destroyed off of dirty money. So hey, if you guys are new here, please
Gamble
subscribe as we
money.
cover laughably stupid stuff that unfolds on the internet daily. Drop a
That
like on
was
this video if you
funny,
enjoyed
dude.
it, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.
Oh my
Peace.
god, crypto drama, crazy. Just joined Who is FaZe Banks. A bunch of old ass crypto scammers. That's all you need to know.
Fire, 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 fire.